All right, hello everyone. Let's get the setup good, there we go. And let's get to Blueprint. All right, I've already merged this Laravel 10 branch, so let's pull down the latest, which is a lot of stuff. This has been tagged, so I think a couple streams back, oh, my AirPods wouldn't connect. This is a couple streams back, but basically I've added Laravel 10 support for Blueprint. It's now generating everything with type hints and all sorts of stuff like that. In the process, though, I noticed that the mailables were still kind of like an old format. So I just wanted to do like kind of a quick stream today while I'm kind of getting back into the kind of up to speed. I've been under the weather and just kind of out of it the last week. I wasn't able to go to LaraCon India, which really was kind of a personal blow. So just, it's been tough is the point. So I'm kind of trying to get back into, the code and positive, good vibes and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, shorter stream today just to get this out of here. Okay, so this mail stub, if we go look, this uses kind of the old build static. And if we were to jump out to like Laravel framework and we took a look at Mailable stub, maybe? That's invocable. Mail stub, is there such a thing? Yeah, there we go. I think this is what we want. Yeah, there it is. All right, let's take their stub and kind of fill in the blanks for ourselves. So we have namespace, of course, and we have properties and all these other things. So let's bring this back in. And I think we would probably want to keep this properties piece. Okay, so all that's really changed according to our IDE here is that these new content and envelope bits are here, this constructor's here. I don't know if we generate that constructor or not. We'll have to kind of take a look. I think we do, considering this is all new. So I'm gonna actually get rid of that because I bet properties outputs the constructor. And then here's where we'll kind of take a look at some of these other pieces. Subject, I don't think is something that we set in it. What did we have before? Let's see here. Get diff-w. Okay, so we definitely didn't do subject before. We did have a view. We don't have a subject. So view does need to become view, so that's good. And then here's these attachments, which we wouldn't necessarily have. We're not going to have subject. I wonder if subject's something to add to the mailable, where you can like enter it. I think for now, again, we don't have it, so we'll just kind of set this to an empty bit here, and let's just kind of run the test and see where we are. So vendor bin php unit tests feature generators mail statements mail generator. These should all explode because we're not using build anymore. All right, so I think now the best thing to do would probably be to go to our fixtures and kind of update these by hand a little bit. So instead of building this piece out, if we go back to our mail stub, we're gonna need to drop in this now. And emails.admin.added is the view. So emails.admin.added is the view. And we're missing some contracts here, so let's bring those into play. Again, I don't think there's anything to change in the generator. This should all just work if, we're kind of outputting everything correctly. So what I'm going to do is actually just change the rest of these while we're here. So let's just drop in the new serialized bit here, these new imports. Let me just put all these into play. All right, and then next we would need to put in this kind of bottom half, this new, more extended bit here. So emails.review-post. So emails.review-post. Excuse me. And then this is emails publish post. So let's paste that back in there. And this is emails published dash post, I think we said. We got an extra line break there. All right, same thing here. This is review dash post. This is review dash post, I think. Good. And then last one, review dash post yet again. Review dash post. All right, if we're really lucky, I think all these will pass. We got one of them to pass. We did have 4 errors. Now we just have 3. My guess is I probably wrote one of these views incorrectly. So let's kind of take a peek at that. Oh, whoops. Zooming in. All right. Let's see what I broke here. Emails review dash post. That should be fine. Emails review dash post. That should be good. What did I break here? What is your name? Published dash post. That should be fine too. All right, so what's wrong? Emails admin.added. Okay, I think I copied these over correctly. So let's, excuse me, let's go to the mail generator and let's find where we do our stub. And let's just var dump our stub and we'll kind of see what we're getting wrong here. Okay, so let's dump this out. So let's just kind of take a look at this last one. Emails review post should be this empty array, have post, public post. Let's kind of see what we're actually getting here in the var dump. So admin.added emails publish post. Well, looks like we're going to have to focus this a little bit. So let's write this here. Let's filter this test and see what's going on here. Okay, one error. Emails.review-post didn't match up. What is it actually outputting? It's actually outputting emails publish post, empty envelope, empty constructor. Is that right? No, I'm missing. So I'm missing some public properties here that aren't getting output in the constructor of published post. So did I just copy this over wrong? Looks like I did. Why is it thinking that the published post should now have properties? Is this right? Output, let's look at the test. Mail generator test. What is this one? The overwrites trees or something? Respects configuration. Output mails but not existing template. Okay, so this should take, where is it? Mailable's review post. It should get this one. Okay. What is wrong with you? Oh, is it just a stupid extra line break? Oh my gosh. Nope, not that. Okay, well let's do this. Let's do, for easier comparison, let's do a git add dash u on everything we changed. And then what I'm going to do is copy the output of the stub, this, and dump it to kind of see what I'm doing wrong here. All right, so one last time just to make sure. So here's this, and it's claiming that it's an empty constructor. So suddenly we have an empty constructor, which seems wrong. My guess is if we go look at stubs, did I do something wrong here? Mail generator replaces properties with the constructor. Populate constructor, str replace. Build properties, str replace, this constructor should already be in, oh, okay, no, it pulls the constructor. Okay, we're good. It pulls the constructor in. Why? Huh. Review post. Where's our draft file? I want to see what the draft file looks like. Draft send statements. Let's just see if this is actually supposed to have send publish post, send review post to user.email with post. So review post definitely should have a post property that's being set up. I think what's happening here is there's actually two things being output. And yeah, I've got the wrong one. There we go. That's why there's two outputs. Okay, my bad. Okay, so this really should be that, which somehow it's pulling like all these new things. Let's just see if it passes now. It does not, because publish post is now unhappy. So let's go paste this into publish post. So this is published post. Just trying to see like what the actual difference here is. Okay, so it passes now. According to Git, what is the difference? See, there's no difference in the mail one. What's the difference here? The line break at the bottom. So annoying. All right, let's get rid of this extra line break that got added from my copy paste. I'm surprised PHP Storm didn't kind of help me out there and get rid of those. Do all these just pass now? I bet you they do. That would be funny. They do. Okay, so as expected, there is nothing to change in the generator other than a copy-paste bug. So everything passes here. We got rid of our little poor developers debugging. So we're using the new template. That's good. So let's go ahead and add this. Git add -p. Don't var dump. Get rid of these extra line breaks in our fixtures. Stupid. And then we'll do git commit git gitty commit -m update mailable template. Okay, I'm just wondering if there's an opportunity, since that was pretty easy work, to put in subject here. I'm wondering how hard that would be, right? Just inject that subject back. Because at that point we're really more or less the same template as Laravel other than the view name. And it wouldn't really take much here to just say subject and have it be like send statement subject, which isn't real, but the point is, for now, we could just return that. And I think, again, all tests would still end up passing. Let's find out. They do. So we haven't broken anything yet. But to bring that to life would require some more parsing here. So let's just see where this send statement, gets used. It's a couple different places. Statement lexer test. So I'm just curious. Let's look at this statement lexer. And let's see, somewhere in here there's a send statement. So type equals mail, change it to a notification if they end the name in notification. And this extracts, analyze send. Okay, to view. So I'd want to drive this out with a test, but basically you could say subject and then pass in something. Now this takes not a space, which is a little bit much. What does extract tokens do? It splits it on a space. Yeah. Yeah, see, it's kind of tough because a subject's pretty likely going to have, a subject statement's pretty likely going to have like quotes around it or quotes in it. And now we kind of start to get into like a weird YAML place. Yeah. I don't know if there's a lot of value there. Let's see what you're saying in the chat. Hey Samuel, how's it going? Oh yeah, fresh haircut. Thanks. You were looking at review post and changing add admin file. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, we're caught up now. What do you think about Laravel's generator command under the hood of Blueprint to generate files rather than maintaining stubs? Laravel's generator command. I'm not familiar with that. I'd have to take a look. Okay. Let's spike this out for a second. Let me go to the statement lexer test. We'll just kind of spend 5 or 10 minutes on this and see if we can get it. And if not, I'll leave it alone. So let's find send statement somewhere in here. We probably have that. Yes, we do. All right. It returns send statement with only. With only. That's a weird name. It returns send statement to and with. To, with, and view. Okay, here we go. We'll do another one here. That's it returns send statement to, with, view, and subject. Look at that. Okay, to, with, view. And it doesn't really matter where we put subject, but we can just put it here. And this would be like testing mail subject line. So you theoretically you wouldn't quote it, is what we're kind of trying to say. And we're going to try to see if we can extract that. So what we would expect is the type is mail, and when we call subject, we would want this to be the testing mail subject line. Testing mail subject line. And if we take this, we should be able to say dash filter double O, no test executed. No tests executed. Oh, because it's not in the mail generator. Duh. Let's back this up. Boom. All right, let's try that again. Okay, so what happens here is with ends up eating the rest of subject, and that's why we kind of have this special scenario. So if we go back to the lexer, we want to extract tokens, and this splits things. This splits the tokens on a space or tab only 2 times. Yeah, the way this is set up, yeah, this is kind of ugly. You'd have to like, I don't know what that regular expression would look like, because you're not, one of 2 things would have to happen. You'd either have to quote, the YAML string, meaning like you'd have to, put a, not escaped, of course, because it's not PHP, but you'd have to put that in there, which I don't feel like I do that in too many places. I'd like to just be able to write the subject, but the problem is you can't necessarily reliably parse that out. You know that you can parse out to an author because there's no spaces in there. So you can parse this out reliably. And then we pass this down to that extract, which only gets 2 things based on this first space. That's why this is working. But it's not working because it's parsing it on 2 spaces, so Boz gets the rest. So we would need a reliable way to pull out subject and allow for spaces, but if with, was over here, that we're not taking subject line with, right? That's the hard part. It's not impossible, but it's just kind of ugly. So what I would probably do is, say that this is subject, and then I would take as much as possible and then you would either have to be end with a with, colon, or the end of the string. That'd kind of be like the way it would work. And then you would replace the whole thing with what you took matches to. You'd replace it back with either the ending bit, which is nothing, or the with. But then it gets weird because, like, what if you have with colon in your subject line? See, that's not That's not possible. This wouldn't cover all those bases. This might pass right now, but it's not going to work overall. So here we'll say, where was that? Sorry. Let's go back up here and we'll say statement, but now its subject is matches 1. And we'll just take subject as null. And when we build the send statement, we would now pass in subject. And subject string subject is allowed to be null. All right. And then subject is subject or an empty string. And let's bring subject into light, and let's go down. Where's subject? Subject. This subject. All right, let's see if that passes, and it does. Let's see if everything passes, and it does. But again, we know that we can break this if I do something a little grosser, like, you know, testing with : subject line, right? That's gonna explode. So just to get like a harder test in there. Yeah. And now subject line doesn't get caught with the with, and it's getting pulled out, and some other things are working, but it's gross. So I think if I wanted to support this, again, I'd have to think on it a little bit more, but like if we just did like a YAML parser, let's just mess with this here for a second. And like, just write some. Can you quote this? Is this allowed? Yeah. It still parses the same. You would end up quoting your subject. So I wonder if we say something just, this would be like send, and now we have like some content, or well, let's just get the real stuff, shall we? What we're really saying here is send with that. And yeah, this is kind of where we end up doing like some special parsing. Yeah, this is kind of proof that it's not even valid YAML, but I bet you if I quote this, it would be okay. No? Just kidding. What is it not like? Mapping values are not allowed here. Oh, you can't even do that with the YAML. Really? Even when it's quoted? According to this, you can't even do that in YAML. So this would work with the quoting. It's just kind of escaped, which is fine. But yeah, that's interesting. You couldn't even put a colon in there. I'd have to test if Symfony's parser somehow allows that, but I think this is already kind of demonstrating like why the subject line is a little bit difficult. If this was allowed and it parsed totally fine, I would just build it and document that your subject line, unless it was a single word, would need to be quoted. So yeah, I'll think on that a little bit more. I mean, we can see that it's something that is addable, but it's just not something that I can do very quickly. You would need to you need to write a pretty good amount of test cases for this and kind of test it all the way down. So we would need to write a draft file that has a very difficult, full kind of complex send statement with, with this kind of YAML in it. And first of all, see if Symfony even handles it. And if it doesn't, then you automatically have a limitation of not being able to have a colon in your subject lines, which I think people would end up doing. That seems like a popular thing to me, to have a colon in a subject line. Like it happens, is the point. So then, like, how do you get a fancy error message there because it's a YAML parser? So I don't know, that leads to a difficult DX. So I think it's probably not worth it, to be honest. I'm just going to stash these changes for some other time. I'll think on it. Maybe it's something to add next week, maybe not. I don't know. But anyway, appreciate everybody joining the stream live. Like I said, should be back at it now. But yeah, I'll take a look. How do you take the same approach as Laravel setting the subject? Yeah, I think there's ways for me to fill in the subject line. So I think some kind of sensible default probably makes sense. I could just like studly case the class name. So for this, for example, it would say like review post. Is there value in that? I don't know. So I do think I want to add the subject line. It seems to be in Laravel's template. So it's something that makes sense to add. But yeah, I don't know. It would really just depend on if Symfony's YAML parser somehow does a better job. So if so, then great. If not, then yeah, maybe I'll come up with a sensible default. So good idea. Anyway, thanks everyone for joining live. See y'all next week.